Hello and welcome back to Season 5 coverage of the Louisville Cube League. Today we're going to be going through a draft of my Merfolk Cube, our first this season. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in this cube if you aren't familiar, but I won't go into too much detail right now outside of letting you know that this is a desert cube. If you aren't familiar, that means that all of the cards that go into your final deck must be drafted, including the basic lands. To help out a bit with that, the draft is 3 18-card packs instead of regular 3 15-card packs. Keeping that in mind, let's just go ahead and get into the draft, and we'll be welcoming a new voice to the commentary today. Alright, so we're getting right into the draft. So I'm Prose.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Spurlock.
Welcome! First
Hello.
time!
It's good to be here. Yeah, I'm a first timer at the whole commentary game, so let's see how we do.
Been some interesting stuff in here already. It's been kind of interesting to watch because I feel like a lot of people, when they draft, pull cards they want towards the front, but I feel like a lot of times you put cards in the front like as you're going through it. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, just kind of like grabbing what catches my eye. We got a couple Anthem effects pulled to the front. Obelisk of Erd, Aquatic Incursion that I'm looking at for a long time.
Yeah, I like both of those. I like the banner too. That's the one that taps for a mana, I believe, on top of being an Anthem.
I was debating between the two of those. We'll see which one I end up taking here, but I figure it can't be too bad to start off with like an Anthem effect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the first time I drafted this cube, which this is only my second, I was trying to be a little bit too cutesy. So in this draft, I'm really thinking about just like drafting good creatures with a good curve and maybe some Anthem effects, hopefully pick up some Lords.
Yeah, a lot of games, outside of there's like definitely a lot of evasion, but a lot of games tend to turn into just like whose creatures are, bigger, so not too bad of a place to be.
So I was looking at I think it's called Waterwind Scout.
Yeah, the map one?
Yeah, but I end up taking this Silvergill Adept.
Yeah, hard to say no.
Yeah, just a solid, like, again, low-cost value creature. I think I had a total of 3, maybe like 4 Merfolk in the first cube deck I had of this cube, so I'm hoping to do a little bit better than that this time around.
Yeah. And just in case anybody missed it, you are seeing basic lands in this because this is a desert cube, so no basic lands after the draft. So 18 card packs, but every card you play has to be picked in the draft here. So
yes, and we will see that was like a constant tension for me throughout this draft. Probably didn't take lands aggressively enough in the beginning, but we ended up, spoiler alert, we ended up getting there, but just barely.
Yeah, unclaimed territory is a big one. Yeah, I mean, doesn't have the can't be countered clause that Cavern of Souls does, but just really nice to be able to fix for any creatures you draft from here on out.
Absolutely.
Spurlock, do you have a preferred strategy in this cube or in desert cubes generally?
So this is the only desert cube I've drafted. I mean, like I said earlier, the first time I drafted this cube, I think I was just trying to be a little bit too cutesy. I was trying to draft a more controlling deck that was kind of built around choke. This time I am going in with the kind of like strict intention of building basically like a normal limited deck. So a good amount of creatures. Hopefully I pick up some Lords, Bombs, and solid removal.
Thriving Isle, one of the only lands that there's, besides the basics, that there's more than one of. I think there's 5 of them in the list, and that's mostly just because I think it's just so good at fixing your mana. I mean, the cube is majority blue, but you never really know what you're going to end up with, and having a land like that can essentially be whatever you need it to be.
Yeah, I really like the availability of those as like kind of a flexible pick if you don't know what your second or, maybe third plus colors are going to be.
Right.
Looking at some more lands here.
You said you didn't take lands aggressively enough, and every one of these packs, you're just pulling all the lands up to the front.
We'll see. The problem is that I just picked 3 in a row, and so in my head I'm like, all right, we're good. We're good for the rest of the pack. I don't need to pick any lands.
You've done a good job of resisting a lot of cards that I think would have been tough for me personally to pass, but again, I really like a lot of, if not all of these cards, so that's why I put them in the cube. But
Are there any specific ones that you've noticed so far that you're kind of surprised I like either glossed over or didn't take?
no, I mean, there's stuff like Kod is a really good card, but again, it's just like there's a lot of lords. He's probably lower on the end of the lords, and like the
Is that
lands are really nice. The playtest
yeah,
card.
is the playtest card. Yeah, I
Mhm.
looked at him for a long time and I ended up not taking it because I realized that it was not actually a Merfolk itself,
Right.
which for some reason that seemed like a deal breaker for me at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, almost actually ended up getting cut from the cube last week for a weird rules interaction. If we get time, I might talk about it a little more later, but we avoided that. Kidnap, mind control effect. Blue, not the most removal heavy color in the world, so there's a lot of those floating around.
Yeah, I quite like Kidnap. Especially taking like again, it taps the creature down, um, but like taking a Lord is such a huge like swing.
Even if you give them a fish, it's or no, kidnap is not a fish.
You
That's
get them a card, yeah.
a card. That's what it was. Yeah, okay. Forerunner, I
Forerunner.
love. Yeah, just
Yeah, nice
letting you
little
find your lords.
Merfolk tutor there.
Condemn showing up. There's a bit of removal in other colors, and there is blue removal with like bounce spells and such. But
In general, I do like Condemn, and I would have ended up being happy to have it in my deck. It is a more defensive removal spell. Like
mhm.
if you're wanting to be on the aggressive, which I'm kind of hoping to be with this deck, it's maybe not the best.
Yeah, for sure. It is hard to imagine many ways that people would kill you in this cube without having to attack you, but I definitely agree with what you're saying about being more proactive. Aquatic Incursion came back, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I was looking at that one to begin with. It goes quite well with my Obelisk of Erd. I am thinking at this
Mm-hmm.
point that I'd like to try and get some more like either token generators or just like more cheap Merfolk to turn on the Obelisk as early
Yeah.
as possible. So I do end up taking that one.
Yep, big fan there. Let's see what else came back here. A lot of lands. No land respect in this draft from other
I'm
people, it seems.
very tempted by that search for Escanta, but I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like trying to ward off being like more control-y or fiddly or anything like that.
Right.
But that being said, I do see this. I think that's Reject Imperfection that I pulled to the front,
Yeah.
which seems pretty solid.
Right.
So at this point, I believe that spell proliferates.
It does.
Um,
If the spell it counters costs 3 or more, I think it proliferates. It's 3 or
yeah,
4. I can't remember.
the only explicit combo I have with that at this point is the Forerunner, which gets counters on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a decent amount of like +1/+1 counter stuff. And I
Yeah.
think a Leech Bonder.
Which is another. You probably don't want to proliferate the counters on the Leech Bonder, but once you get them onto
Probably
other
not.
things,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was pretty impressed by Leech Bonder the first time I played the cube. I played against it, not with it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's quite a few like low toughness Merfolk that it can be like a double removal spell sometimes if the opponent leaves it around.
Yeah, really big fan of the like weird untap activated ability creatures that they came up with in that set, and it's one of them. Instruments is the flash one, right?
Yeah, 4 mana with Flash, and it gives creatures +1/+1. I can't remember if that's specifically like you choose a creature type. I think it is.
Yeah, you choose a creature type as it enters, but Ink Dissolver, a cool one.
Yeah, it's I take it mostly for curve considerations here. 2 drop, 2/1. I think it mills. I'm not super worried about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a nice plus sometime.
So here I'm debating between, I forget the name of that white Merfolk, Stony Brook something, I think.
The Schoolmaster, yeah, whenever it becomes tapped, you make a
Schoolmaster, yeah.
token.
End up taking the Deep Root Champion because it's cheaper. I do think this deck would have ended up liking that Schoolmaster, though, because it makes tokens, again, for the Obelisk.
Yeah, for sure.
I am kind of like not sure what additional color or colors I'm going to be at this point. You know, I've picked a few green cards. I think at this point I only have blue and green cards.
That looks right, yeah.
Yes.
And both of the three color lands you've picked make both those colors, so it's pretty nice. Technically a blue-black card, but not really.
Right.
Love Broker's Charm here. You're really well set up to be able to cast it, I think. And
yeah, that was actually kind of a little bit of a gift late in the pack, the Broker's Charm. You know, it's 3 colors, so not a whole lot of people at the table probably going to be able to take advantage of it.
I think as time goes on, Joey and I had talked about this actually. I can't remember if it was after this draft or the one before, but I think as time goes on, 3 and 4 color decks are going to become a lot more common from people in this cube, because I think they're going to realize it's a bit easier than you think. Just because you never have to like commit super heavily to your colors beyond blue and sometimes green.
Right.
Love a lot of stuff here. The Sig is cool. The Flame of Anor is cool.
I quite like Sig here. Yeah, I ended up taking him. So my first like actual, I mean, I got the Broker's Charm late last pack, so I'm starting to think at this point that maybe I could be blue-white, maybe I could be Bant, you know, splash one of the 3 colors. Probably not splashing blue. Splashing blue, splashing green or white.
Yeah. Right on time. Some more fixing, yeah.
By the way, just to do a quick land count, at the end of that last pack, I think I'm at 5. So that is a little bit lower than where I'd like to be at this point.
Yeah, again, 3 packs of 18, and you want 17-ish lands, so about 6 per pack is par, I guess. So yeah, maybe a little bit behind the curve on that. I feel like you can always tell at the end of these drafts when everybody realizes that they don't have enough lands and starts to panic.
Oh yeah, I was feeling that here for sure. So I was looking at that Hadana's Climb, which is a really good card, but then I see the Path and just a super efficient removal spell. It's hard for me to pass up. Yeah, and I just got the Hallowed Fountain.
Right. Just an all-white pack for you so far with Sig, the Hallowed Fountain, and the Path. Path, one of the rare, like, true removal spells, too, in the cube. You know, a lot of, like, mind controls, soft removal with, like, bounce spells. So...
yeah, that was definitely something in the back of my mind as I was taking that one. Like, it's, you know, the counter spells, you have to kind of land at the right time, and then you've got, like, the bounce and mind control stuff.
Yeah, so Hawkball here... yeah.
Super happy about this pick, yeah. I mean, Hawkball, again, spoiler alert, it ended up being one of the best cards in my deck, and I think it might be one of the best cards in the cube.
I agree with that, and I do think that was one of the cards that people at first were not very high on, but I guess you kind of have to see that card in action to really, like, understand, I guess, but...
oh, yeah?
Do you think that explains it going forth, or do you think maybe people were too wary of splashing if they weren't already in green, or...
I personally think it's a little bit of just, like, unawareness. Because that feels like one of the cards to me. Like, the only other one that pops into my head right away is also a blue-green card in Kumena. And I think there are cards that I would just never pass in this cube. And I think that Hawkball is probably included in that.
Yeah, it's like a commander card, I think. So some people just might not have seen it. You know, I think not to name names, but there was at least one other person in the draft who was like, I'm not even reading half these cards. You know, once it gets to a certain, like...
We have a few of those people. I have been one of those at times, but The cards just have so many words these days.
It is daunting, especially with a cube like this. That's like, when you're drafting a cube when you're getting like 12 or 13 cards in a pack that it's one thing. But when you're getting a cube with like 15 cards in a pack that you have to read, it does get tiring. But as
Yeah.
time goes on, people learn what the cards do, and I think as time goes on, Hawkball is a card that will be more and more highly picked. And sometimes you just have to see those cards with a bunch of words on them and witness what they do, and then that alone kicks them up in your rankings.
Yeah. By the way, very seriously considering that Mutavault in that last pack we looked at, but I ended up going for the sort of, I guess you could say, more consistent in terms of letting me cast my spells, Dreamroot Cascade.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over the Sync to Super pick, but love it. Love the land DFCs.
Oh yeah, again, just like a very flexible option. I can kind of count it as a land slot. Nothing super exciting in this pack so far. Naga Fleshcrafter is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I end up spending this pick on a land as well, just because I don't see anything like the most exciting for my deck. It's actually, I think this is actually one of the instances where I probably made a wrong pick. It's not like terrible or anything, but I take Underground River when I have no real black cards and I have no intention to play black at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it wouldn't be the most heartbreaking thing to... I guess neither of your 3-color lands actually make black. I thought one of them did for a second there.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It's like the one color I'm least likely to play. Pretty happy about this Charade Wheeling, though.
Yeah, that another card that... New card, lots of text. But I think as time goes on, people will... The card is a little less potent than it was initially intended to be, but...
Yeah, I know. I think that at one point there was a little bit more of a tapping theme, which you scaled back on, but I just like Charade as like a tempo-oriented, like play it, tap something down, get a blocker out of the way, and draw a card. Like, pretty good value.
Yep. Good old-fashioned island.
Oh, yeah. So the fact... I've taken a couple islands at this point, but most of my lands are... non-basic and not island typed, which will become relevant here at a later point in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really something I'm thinking about actively at this moment, though.
Makes this foil not very good for you.
Yeah, I can't tell what that last card I was looking at is. I'm kind of debating between these.
Banner of Kinship, which is kind of a... Oh, maybe just taking the foil. Okay. Banner of Kinship, foil, which is like a Giga Anthem, but does cost 5. So.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit too tantalized by the possibility of the foil being free cast.
Free spell. Yeah.
Yeah. Got an Evidence Examiner here, which is a card that I like, but I take this Wanderwine Prophets.
Yeah, Wanderwine Prophets not a card that I've really seen it do anything yet in this cube, which is disappointing because who doesn't love taking extra turns? But
it's a pretty sweet card, yeah.
It does cost 6, though. Yeah. I get it. Radiant Destiny is fantastic.
Yes, and I believe that's a wheel as well. So feeling pretty good. At this point, I think I'm pretty confident. I'm going to try and play all 3 of my colors. Still not clear on which one's a splash.
Castle Vantress, nice, yeah.
Yeah, great pickup there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you seem really well set up for a splash here.
Yeah, that Deeproot Historian. Consider taking it the first time around. Again, kind of was lucky to get it on the wheel. That card seems quite good to me. I didn't really get to play it in my matches, so I'm not sure, but... Nyxborn Triton, not too exciting.
No, nothing here at the end that's too enticing, really. But
so the Deeproot Historian gives your Merfolk creatures
retrace.
Retrace, yes.
Well, pack 3 starts out with a banger with the Mist Dancer.
Oh yeah. I'm reading this card, and I think at this point I had to ask you what Encore does.
Yeah, which fair
It's
question.
basically, yeah, it's basically like Unearth. It's got some commander like relevant rules text that's not going to be relevant in 1v1.
Right.
Also got a Tidebinder pull to the front.
Yeah, love Tidebiter, love the Selkie, like the Sentinel. There's a lot.
This is quite a good
in
pack.
this pack. Yeah.
Looks like I'm debating mostly between, yeah, those first three. There's a cut in the video which tells you that I was taking a long time to decide. Ended up going with the missed answer.
Yeah, I love Mist Dancer. I mean, only bumps power, not toughness, but gives everybody flying, which, you know.
I mean, look, not
pretty
many
powerful.
Merfolk can fly, so
That's
that
true,
just
yeah.
breaks open board states sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, certainly a potential finisher.
Ooh.
Vidalcan Shackles.
Very exciting card here.
Yeah, but like you said, we have, what, 2 islands currently?
I know, I'm looking at it, I'm like...
Oh, 3, I guess. We have the Hallowed Fountain I forgot about. Yeah, so just taking the pathway.
Yeah, it did hurt me.
Yeah, but I think your brain was in the right place there because, I mean, a lot of the Merfolk are like 2 or 3 power, but still you have to, if you only have 2 or 3 in your entire deck, it's going to be tough, and that card will end up looking silly if you don't have islands, and nobody wants to look silly. Legacy's Allure here is nice.
Yeah, very tempting.
Older card that, again, I think a lot of people don't read. Ooh,
You mean
Harbinger
people
also
that just
good.
don't know what that does?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's so silly. The thing about that card that always gets me is the fact that it says no greater than when most new cards would say less than or equal to. And the fact it just takes me so long to parse that. That's probably a me problem.
It just sounds like if you play with it once or twice, it'll wipe that away, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both good choices here. Don't hate the Harbinger. The Legacy's Allure is really nice, and I don't expect it to get much further around the table, but again, like the ability to take a Lord off the table during combat or something of that ilk with the Harbinger is really nice.
It being face up makes it very annoying to play against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Legacy's Allure puts you into these weird game states where, like, because it has to sit on the table for a couple turns to matter, right? And so yeah, it's just it creates these weird stalemates.
I mean, I like it. You know, it's almost like it creates a mini game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we both know this is in play. We both know what it's capable of doing. So, like, I'm gonna play around it, or try to play around it as best as I can. You know, I'm gonna play around it, right?
Yeah.
Reading this room here. Highlighting the second Harbinger of the Tides.
Yeah, so Harbinger of the Tides, there were 2 of them in this draft. There's also 2 resculpts, I think, so you can thank the cube owner for that mistake.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was thinking.
Like Master, love Days. Again, kind of weak with less islands, but even still, I mean, it only costs 2.
Yeah, I think in hindsight the Master would have been the correct pick there, but I'm not too unhappy with the Days.
Mm.
Theros block is when I started playing, so I remember Master of Waves well from my days of playing Standard
Yeah.
back then.
Just ignore that horrible proxy, please. We don't need to talk about it. I like Manamo. We have at least 2 things that we can untap with it. One of them fairly
Yes, we've got
potent, I
the
guess.
we've
Oh,
got the
3 things.
Sig and we've got the Hawkball,
And Charade.
as well as the Shure. Yeah. 3 steps ahead looks pretty appealing here.
Brineborn Cutthroat, good.
Yeah. So once again, I'm just like I'm trying to balance, making sure like the whole draft. I was thinking, okay, I need to make sure I have enough lands, and I want to make sure I have enough like relatively cheap plays. At this point, I've got. So I do take the Brineborn Cutthroat here, just as another 2-drop.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like I've got the top end of my curve pretty well sorted out with like the Charade, the Mist Dancer, the Hawkball. Talrand is a very tempting card here.
You've done a pretty good job of staying away from most of the like more controlling cards. Well, I guess you do have a fair number of cards that would trigger Talrand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily. It's possible that you can build a very solid control deck in the cube. It's just like I tried that strategy once and it didn't work out super well for me. So I kind of like figured I would pivot hard in the other direction. Again, I was thinking about that Talrand there, but wasn't sure if I would have enough instants and sorceries to really turn it on, so passed on it. And again, I've got my top end pretty well sorted out.
Like the
Mind Shaper
Mystic.
Mystic here.
Yeah.
Nice to curve into, yeah.
This fills in the curve and pumps all the other guys you've played on the way. Try to look and see. Blade of Shared Souls is normally interesting to me, but you don't have a ton actually that I think would be even good to copy with it because most of your good things are legends. So
I am not sure what that card does. Is it like an equipment? Does it? It sounds like it creates a copy of the creature it's equipped to.
yeah, whenever
Something like that.
I'm gonna get the exact text. Whenever you equip it to something, you have that creature become a copy of another creature you control as long as it's equipped. So yeah, essentially just turns one creature into another.
I am occasionally guilty of just like my eyes glossing over certain cards, and that could very well have been one of them during the draft.
Like Roaming Throne, don't know how much we have to make it worth it. Also with Wizard class, I don't know. I guess like
yeah, Roaming Throne. It's really good with like good with the Hawkball. Looking at my other stuff that I can.
Roaming Throne with the Wanderwine Prophets is like kind of a dream, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Jolting Merfolk.
There are a couple cards that I got late that I feel like maybe weren't respected quite enough. We might see an example of that here in a little bit.
Made you read Perry twice.
It's my colors.
Yeah. Jolting Merfolk, one that probably is better with more of the like proliferate type cards, but
true. Yeah, I've got one of those, but I'm not exactly like a theme of my deck.
Right. Pretender, not a lord, but
yeah, and the Talrand comes back, which to me is like crazy.
Yeah.
So I do take it.
Love Sage of Fables here. I feel like we have a lot of wizards. I don't know the exact.
Yeah, it's not.
But
it's not even a theme I was building to, but it just happens that a lot of Merfolk are incidentally wizards. So
yeah.
And a last pick Lol Mage Mentor as well.
Another wizard to round it out. Yeah, so we can take a quick look. This is the deck you ended up with.
Yes. So a couple of, I guess, like notable exclusions that I ended up cutting. I cut the Instruments of War. I ended up not playing the Waterwine Prophets. Call me a coward. That's fine. Or the Roaming Throne. Basically, like a couple of the more expensive spells that I just felt like I couldn't fit in my deck, or I didn't want to include them over the sort of like cheaper threats and more efficient removal that I have here.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I won't call you a coward for leaving out the Prophets. It's fine.
And counting the Sink into Stupor, I am at 17 lands in this deck list, and the only one I picked up that I'm not playing is the Underground River, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no real reason to, and just puts a little bit of strain on your life total potentially, which isn't really what you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, seems pretty cut and dry, so we could go ahead and jump into some games. All right, so round one. So Spurlock on the left, playing against Blair on the right. I don't remember who was on the play for this match. Looks like Blair.
Looks like it was Blair.
Yeah.
In one of our matches, I think she had to take a mulligan. I can't remember if it was this one.
I don't believe so.
Her hand does look pretty healthy at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Just playing the Sink into Stupor as a land here.
I would feel remiss if I didn't comment that the new sleeves look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, it is unfortunately double-sleeved, which double-sleeved and brand new sleeves is kind of a vicious combination, but
yeah, they were quite slippery.
Yeah.
Which, you could say that's appropriate for the Merfolk Cube.
Yeah, it's on theme.
I think even by the end of the draft they were better, but anyways, I don't remember the name of this card that Blair played, but I believe it's the one that whenever it deals damage, target player mills that many cards. So
that's correct, yeah.
And not even to a player; it's just when it deals damage to anything. So kind of an interesting one. 2/1.
Yeah,
I believe.
good with fight spells that may or may not be in the cube.
How supported is Mill as an archetype here? Is this a card that we really need to be worried about, or?
I wouldn't say that it's like heavily supported. It's one of those things that I kind of struggled with because it seems like the kind of thing that can become unfun, especially in like a reasonably low interaction cube like this one.
Certainly.
But there is
I love Mill.
There is Thassa's Oracle. There are several cards that do mill cards, normally only like one or two at a time. This is Vohar.
Yes. Merfolk Looter that lets you Snapcast or something back.
Yeah, and if the card you discard is a instant or sorcery, it also drains a life, so...
Yeah, quite good card.
Yeah, so the Mystic getting in there. Towering Wave Mystic, I believe, is the name of that card. So yeah, looks like you get to... Someone gets to mill some cards.
Yeah, I think Blair realizes here that she could choose herself if she wanted to, and she's got the Vohar in play, so that is kind of appealing. But she does choose me.
Hits a couple winners. Reject Imperfection, Broker's Charm.
Yeah,
maybe things
relevantly
that you would
a couple of instants.
Yeah. Although pretty far from casting the Broker's Charm. Less far now, immediately, but... There's Radiant Destiny.
Radiant Destiny. What did I name here?
It's a mystery.
I think it was Merfolk.
It could be anything, really. I mean... You could have named Wizard. You might have enough.
I could have. I don't know if the Harbinger's a wizard.
I think it is. It definitely has a second type. Let me see. Yeah, it is. It's a wizard. So, but no, I assume anybody plays a card like this, they play the lands. I just assume it's always Merfolk.
All right, Blair activating the Vohar.
Yeah, you were being a good steward of the camera match there and asking me if I could get you the City's Blessing token, which very appreciated. So Waterlog Teaching's the discard there, so it does drain a life.
I'm always happy to give you more work.
And this is the Trickster God's Heist, I think, or is
The
this King
Trickster God's
Murphy's?
Heist.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
Trickster God's Heist. So
It is. So we're trading creatures here. Interestingly, Blair chooses to give me the Vohar.
yeah,
It is a stat downgrade for me, but I've milled those instants, so
right,
this does give me the ability to potentially cast those down the line.
right.
Plus, just give me a looter, which is like a good piece of material.
Chooses to mill herself and hits Valen this time, so kind of unlucky there, but getting into the red zone, which, like we talked about before, is probably the main way to be winning games here. So unclaimed territory, another mystery creature type chosen.
Play a charade here.
Not getting full value, unfortunately, since the creatures are both already tapped, but do get to stun
Right.
something.
Yeah, so I choose the guy that mills.
Yeah.
I I was never really concerned too much about this creature that milled at any point. It didn't seem. I guess I haven't seen that much of Blair's deck yet, but it didn't seem like that was a theme she was building around too much. So I figure if I can close out the game quickly enough, then I'll be fine.
I think that particular card, more often than not, is a curve filler plus, essentially. Just a nice little extra. So second
All right,
stage
we're
of
picking up to chapter
this.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, what does the second chapter of that do again?
Yeah, so the second chapter is you may exchange control of 2 target non-basic, non-creature permanents that share a card type. So the only real thing that she could have done there was swap the Radiant Destiny and the Saga. And either didn't want to lose the third stage of the Saga or just didn't realize that those are both enchantments. But
Right.
all good. Looks like you discarded the Forerunner there. I guess maybe you think you've got all you need. No time for casting tutors. Vohar and Manamo is an interesting combo as well. But if you're going to use all your mana every turn, maybe it never matters.
That is true. That's something that occurred to me at one point, but I don't think it ever comes up in this
Yeah.
in this match.
Look at this guy and his mana efficiency.
I was thinking way too hard about this.
No, I just mean no time for untapping your legend that you get swapped into you. So
I did, by the way, miss a. It might have already happened, but I missed a Vohar loot at one point.
there's Silvergill Adept revealing the Mist Dancer, which may have been the
Scary.
5-drop you were considering, but feels like, especially if you can play another creature here, that might just win in the game next turn.
Notably, I'm 1 permanent away from City's Blessing right now.
Yeah. Which makes me think if you did have another creature, you probably would have played it, so maybe we don't have a... Unfortunately, no follow-up.
The alternative is that I'm just bad. But no, I don't think I have another creature to play at this point. So my plan here is to hopefully next turn on City's Blessing, all my creatures get Vigilance, and then play the Mist Dancer and get an Alpha Strike in.
Right. Although you did miss an opportunity to double Vohar there if you had used your unclaimed territory.
That's true. So this is where I missed the Vohar, and I realized it shortly afterwards.
Yeah. So 6th land does bless the city, which means that not only is that buffing your creatures now, but now they also have Vigilance.
Blair's not doing a whole lot on her side of the board at this point, and another thing I'm thinking about, actually another reason that I didn't play the Mist Dancer that last turn, is I am thinking about the possibility of a counterspell.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently on this turn I just YOLO it.
Looks like she has Pax Disdain, which can only take care of the Silvergill Adept at this point, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, so she does point at the adept, initially changes her mind, and then I'm reading Pax Disdain to make sure that it would actually kill the creature she's targeting.
Yeah, which I don't believe it would because of the Radiant Destiny, so yeah.
Yeah, so we do end up going with the adept.
This will keep this from being quite as brutal. It's currently 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, both creatures getting +2 power from the Destiny and the Mistdancer.
And flying and vigilance. That's all, though.
Well, yeah. So we do have lethal next turn, assuming no interaction or anything.
Right. Surveilling something. Land to go away.
Oh, you can kind of see what Blair's got in her hand, but I can't quite tell.
That is a flying creature, so I think the card she has left is actually Thassa's Oracle, which having Thassa's Oracle with the Wave Mystic makes me warm and fuzzy inside, but not sure if she was able to pull anything off with that.
All right, I decided to take a hit from this thing, get milled.
Yeah, no real reason to expose yourself to any sort of nonsense.
I remember my Vohar activation this time. So I could choose to activate the Vohar, and do I have? Oh, I don't think I have green mana that I can cast for a spell.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was thinking about the Broker's Charm too, but yeah, I
exactly,
don't think...
yeah. But luckily, I have a Path to Exile.
Oh, well. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, it's more than that, right? Because the Mistdancer gets +1 from the Destiny.
Yeah, you're... Oh, also he's 3, so yeah, I think it's actually just 11 exactly.
I believe it was Xaxes, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes care of the first game. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Mistdancer does. There's the mulligan you were talking about, so... Any idea what this Thriving Isle might have named? Hard to really tell right now. I mean,
let me think. Well, I'm sure that we'll find out. I want to say that it was green. Every time I played Thriving Isle on camera, I was like, we should represent this somehow. And then me and my opponent were both like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
One thing Scott suggested actually at one point was you play a card like Thriving Isle and then you point at the cube in the red zone of the, anytime a card names a color.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah, that would be smart.
I think we neglected to share that suggestion with the class, so. But yeah, especially with this Plains follow-up, I have to imagine that it named green.
Yes, I think so. The alternative is you could print off like additional color tokens.
Yeah, thought about that as well.
Yeah. Don't play my green card, I reveal my green card to my Silvergull Adept.
Those two cards have similar treatments on them, so I thought that was the green one for a second, but Banneret is not a bad one to be on if we can curve out, although the swamp I imagine might make it a little bit awkward, but Svalin in play is nice.
Yes, I am a little bit concerned about this one, as it's obviously quite a powerful card.
Yeah, not indestructible right now, but is big. It's a 3/4, so...
How did you pronounce the name of that creature?
I've always said it's Svalin, but I've also heard it said several other ways, so I'm sure.
Yeah, I never know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. Surely somebody on the internet knows the right answer, right? I think the two I've heard the most are Svalin and Sylvian, but I don't
Sylvian is
know.
typically how I pronounce it, although that does sound maybe a little bit too close to the name of a Pokemon.
True, yeah.
Or just that place in Magic too, right? Sylvan.
Sylvan, yeah.
Where the Caryatids and the
Right.
all those things are, yeah.
Libraries?
The libraries, yeah.
There
are two kinds of Magic player.
I was going to say that's quite the difference in time in our two suggestions there.
Right. It's a waterlogged teachings here, getting Spite Malice. Not too bad.
Yeah, so this is face up. I know that it's in hand, so I'm like, okay.
Again, it's that weird dichotomy of like, you know it's there, and then anytime you play a card, it's like, is this the card that he wants me to spite Malice, or is this like actually the best card?
Exactly. So I've done a kind of poor job so far of explaining what certain cards do, but Spite Malice, one half of it is a negate that I believe is 4 mana, and the other half of it is basically a Doomblade, which I think is also 4 mana.
Yeah, they both cost 4, 1 blue, 1 black, so. Broker's Charm here is just drawing cards, I believe, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not big enough to kill the Svalin, Sylvian. Not big enough to kill that really good Merfolk. Oh, now it might be, though, with Hawkball.
Yeah. So I do think at this point that I have a Kidnap in hand, and this would have been a good opportunity to cast it on the Svalin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, given that Blair's tapped out, but because I only have the one other Merfolk, she could deal with it. So
Right.
What I'm kind of hoping is that I can maneuver myself into a position where I still play around the Spite Malice, but am able to kidnap the Svalin.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even if she can't negate it, she can just kill it with the Malice the next turn. But this way, I guess maybe she kills Hawkball instead. But
Reveal a path from the Explorer, which I leave on top.
Yeah, land from the Adept, so that guy's not getting any bigger, unfortunately. But
I mean, the thing about Hawkball is like I never once like revealed a card and was upset with the result, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I got a land in hand. I'm not going to miss my land drops for the rest of the game, or
right.
you know, or I'm getting through the rest of my deck.
Yeah, discarding the Deep-Root Champion there. It did its job. It got revealed to Silvergill Adept, and then it got discarded to hand size. So, what more can you ask for?
It played a pivotal role in the game. Blair surveilling right now off that Undercity Sewers. Leaves it on top.
Yes, I do like this from Blair. You know, those cards are instants, so no reason for her to take action right now.
Yeah. You know, there's an argument to be made for doing it while I'm tapped out, but there is permission in the cube that's free, some of which actually is in my deck. So
that's true. You do a foil, yeah. Foil the card, not a foil card. Although you have some of those too, so. Oh man, just another heater on top with the Radiant Destiny.
Yeah, and I choose to leave it on top.
Yeah, I think maybe we're just not going to pick a fight this turn, but I think if we were going to pick a fight, it should have been before the Explore action. And also this presumably drawing a card here, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not enough that Hawkball does your whole team explores thing.
Right. Yeah, so when he attacks, you can either put a land into play or draw a card, I believe, are the choices. Essentially.
Right. Yeah, and here I play Sig.
Sig looking pretty good, although if we're assuming... Well, this Thriving Isle has to be green at this point, because otherwise how would we have cast this green spell? But
Yes.
so we do only have 1 white mana to protection with him, but...
A little surprised, no Malice at any point on that turn, but...
Yeah, I think, it's always hard to say. We don't know the exact contents of everyone's hand. But I think I probably would have fired it off the turn that I was tapped out. That's the closest to, like, an opening you're going to have, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it is possible that she is really leaning on the negate side of it. I mean, you have shown a Path to Exile and the Anthem
Radiant Destiny, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Both cards that would happily be negated on for Blair's side. So maybe she's locked in on that, but at the same time, it doesn't look like she's doing too great on the board. So.
Yeah, so drawing the card from the attack, opting not to block now that Svalin is indestructible, although I guess you don't really have a good block either way. And a red on time Aether Vial.
Oh, yes.
What everybody wants to play their Aether Vial on turn 6.
Hey, you never know. You play a 6-drop next turn, have a 1-drop in hand. That's value.
That's value. All right, Brineborn Cutthroat. Which, not that impressive on paper, but any bodies with Hawkball is a good place to be. See, it gets tough here because with Sig, we don't even have good blocks of anything. I guess our blocks aren't great regardless, but...
Yeah, I am kind of taking what I guess you could call the mom approach with Sig, and I'm like, I want to hold this up for if my opponent uses removal, not necessarily to get any more damage at this point.
Can we talk about the 3-land Explore there?
Yeah, no big deal.
No pump to your team, of course, but, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I will say it's kind of bad luck that I drew the shock land, so I have to pay 2 life to hold up another Sig activation.
That's true, yeah.
Crucially, we will have the City's Blessing immediately if we cast that enchantment that I just said the name of.
Radiant Destiny.
There you go.
Kind of surprised Sig didn't attack here, actually, with Island Walk, right?
I'm going to say that was a miss on my part, yeah.
We could also just say that he's a really good blocker.
Forgetting that Sig has Island Walk comes up in a kind of comical fashion later on.
Although I guess we could say the same thing the other way as well, because this Stony Brook Banneret has Island Walk, so we're just ignoring Island Walk this game. House rules. Another Thriving Isle that, based on where it's placed, I assume is going to make white mana.
Yeah. I explicitly put the plains under it to point that out, yeah.
Very smart.
Putting a counter on the Aether Vial. We never know. The Aether Vial could get there. Ordeal of Thassa, it looks like, in the hand.
Yeah, which... maybe just a bit late. Would have been really nice on Svalin. Yeah.
Yeah.
At 6, we have something big. Okay, so we're just going to attempt to Malice the Hawkball, which seems doomed here with Sig in play. And 2 white mana available. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do end up... I do think that Blair very graciously... I initially went to put it in the graveyard, and then I was like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So Blair very graciously let me take that back.
Yeah. We got to keep Hackball. There's the ordeal on the Svalin, but I'm not sure if that's enough because hard to imagine.
I mean, it's kind of at this point, it's kind of a risky proposition, like even getting in. But
Yeah,
by the other token, it's like, how else are you going to win this game? You know, it's
right. Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to bank on. We need the Explorers on Sig and the Brineborn Cutthroat to miss.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, okay, if we do have another blocker here, which it seems we do. Okay, that changes things a little bit.
Yeah. It's a small
because...
thing, but you might have wanted to attack first to get the draw, since we were tapped out when we made the attack.
Oh, this Harbinger of Tide, I think, ruins all of the math, though. It doesn't remove a blocker, but it does add another attacker with an Explore trigger, so...
Yes.
We can block
and I do
things.
have... I think we know that I just drew a charade, right?
Yeah, you also still have Path in your hand, I believe, so... Just a bevy of... The whole world is in your court here. You do get full value off it this time too. You get to draw a card.
I like drawing cards. This is the hard-hitting commentary that I'm here to provide.
Yeah, in that regard, I think there's only one type of Magic player because I think that they all like to draw cards. Yeah, just gonna pick them up after that. So, taking care of business in the first.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was really fun playing against Blair. But yeah, ended up being able to take that one.
Blair's deck looked quite strong to me too, and you never know when you get a player to join the group for the first draft. Quite how they'll perform, you know. We're all at different points in our journey, you know.
I will say this was her first event, so she felt a little bit nervous. But I think by the end of the day, she pretty much realized that we're all here to have fun. It's a pretty casual thing.
Yeah,
so I think she enjoyed it. All right. So here's my match against Joey.
Yeah, match 2 against Joey, who was too busy to join us for commentary tonight. So,
to be fair, we are recording on a different day than we normally do.
Yeah, but
I don't like being fair to Joey much, but that seems important to say.
All right, fine.
I believe that is a red-blue tap land, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the red-blue...
Snow Duel?
Snow Duel, yeah. It has Island Mountain types, so...
Yeah.
Don't even ask me what this Thriving Isle named.
What did the Thriving Isle name?
You just said
I told you not to do that. I want to say in this instance it was white, but we'll probably find out.
Yeah, it's really hard to know. I mean, like I talked about in the draft, the thing that makes that card, I think, so versatile and good is that it's entirely based on the cards that are in your hand at the time. So playing a Curse Catcher, milling the Vodalian Mind Singer, which is a mind control creature, essentially.
Yes, good one to know about.
Good one to know about. Good one to see in the graveyard, I imagine, as well. So,
do we think that means that Joey is looking for lands, given that it's a pretty powerful card?
I would say so. Also, fun fact, we've cast a blue-white spell and still have no way of knowing what this Thriving Isle is set on. So,
well, we can be pretty sure that the unclaimed territory is Merfolk. Though.
Could be Wizard.
You got me.
The fact that I want to have as much mana available as possible for the SIG activation makes me pretty confident that this was a white.
I think I would agree,
yeah.
Especially if SIG was in the opener, I think it's certainly on white. So
Joey's got a Jory N, which is kind of like a double spell payoff.
Yeah, so when you cast your second spell each turn, you get to draw a card, which is really nice. Here comes the
I go to attack. I go to attack with Sig here, and Joey says, "I have a 2/3 in play," and I say, "Hold on, okay, I guess I won't attack." So Joey untaps.
This is leading into my favorite combat step of all of the matches recorded on this day. And I'm really glad that I was nearby when you guys did this, because if not, I would have been really confused when I was watching this morning.
So Joey's over here thinking,
I have guesses, but I don't know if I want to spoil what may actually happen.
Well, we can see in a second here. So there's the COD, who is going to get dazed, so...
yes, no mana available for the Curse Catcher activation, and it wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah, so Jorian attacking.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so what's happening here is Joey is pointing out that despite the fact that he talked you out of attacking, that Sig here has Island Walk. So he wouldn't have been able to block. So we've rewound in the middle of Joey's combat step to have Sig attack during Spurlock's turn, which allows the Curse Catcher to also attack here, so...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, you won't see stuff like that on the Pro Tour. You can't. But
that is objectively true.
Yeah.
Most people that play Magic enough understand that's a fine fix.
Yeah.
We all know what was supposed to happen there.
Right.
That's why Cube is better than any other format.
Was that one of your guesses, or?
Yeah, my guess was technically like Joey attacks, then Spurlock also attacks, like right away. It was a little slower than that, but I think I was in the ballpark.
Yeah, fair enough.
My favorite card.
Yeah, so here's Hawkball.
As you can tell, we run a pretty tight ship here.
Of course, of course. So yeah, having Sig able to protect it, presumably after this turn, is nice if it can survive the turn cycle, which not ever a given against a Joey deck, especially one with a bunch of red lands here.
Yeah, it's possible that I could have sandbagged it, but I mean, in general, I think it's just good to get down as quickly as possible.
It's so hard to wait. Like you're not going to wait 2 more turns to play that card.
No.
Because, like I said, if it survives this turn cycle, I think it just wins you the game alone, essentially.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that looks like a Silvergill Adept that I might have put in the graveyard, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Silvergill Adept hit the bin from the Explorer. All right, so there is a Roaring Furnace, which is for exactly enough, it looks like. 4 cards in Joey's hand, I believe.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. And he has a second spell to follow it up, it looks like, which means he gets value from his Jorian.
Yes, and I think that this is a land type changer.
Yeah, Tideshaper Mystic, I think.
It is. Joey notably misses his 4th land drop, so that earlier Surveil did tip his hand a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good call out.
A little bit unlucky with that Surveil plus an extra draw from Jorian, but, can certainly see why the hand was kept.
On the one hand, it feels nice, but on the other hand, it's like, when your opponent's drawing extra cards and they're not hitting their land drops.
Right. You just know he has 6 spells in his hand, yeah.
Right.
Okay, Harbinger pretty nice.
Yeah, bouncing the...
Get the Jorian out of there.
Jorian.
There's the Leech Bonder.
Leech Bonder.
It's
and
really
Joey does
nice
have
too, because...
Yeah, 2 1/1s in play at the moment.
Right.
It seems that Joey's playing a lot. He's really leaning into this double spell theme with his really cheap Merfolk creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so interested to see what he's got here, because if he just replays Jorian, that doesn't feel great. Although I guess if he just replays Jorian, you can't really attack with the Leech Bonder, which maybe is good enough, but...
Yeah. So it's not a replay of the Jorian. We've got a Prismari command.
Yeah. So it gets rid of Sig, lets him look at 2 new cards. Surely we find a land at this point, but maybe he didn't draft enough lands, you never know. Although he did win his first match, so this presumably has enough lands in his deck.
I was going to make a joke about who he played against in his first round, but whoever I came up with would have felt too mean spirited. It's like, yeah, he might have not dropped enough lands, but his first match was against.
Yeah, true. And plus Scott wasn't there, so there's no low hanging fruit on that joke, you know. Also, if there was ever a person to not draft enough lands, it would certainly not be Joey. He would be at the bottom of my tier list of people who might ever do that. So what do we have? We have Sheree. No great targets, but
stepping down the Curse Catcher.
Yeah.
Still just good to get a card draw.
Right.
So Joey did get his 4th land drop. It's a Vivid Creek.
Yeah, but now we can attack. We can take out the remaining blocker. So I guess maybe if you were choosing one of these creatures to have off the table permanently, I'd probably rather get rid of the Mystic, yeah. Not that it seems like we're going to have any land problems, but...
We're at a point in the game where the Curse Catcher is starting to matter like a little bit less and less.
Right, exactly. And plus, we could just take care of it next turn now.
Yeah, that also.
Yeah, so attacking for 4 here.
Curse Catcher is unstunned.
Still tapped though, yeah. There's Jorian back, so do we have a cheap spell to follow it up with? Never mind. Never mind, Weave.
Land first, and then Jory. And then a Doctor Mystic. So that will trigger the Jory. It is putting another target for the Leech Bonder into play.
Yeah.
But I can totally respect like playing it to get that extra card.
Right.
So Joey's only got 1 land up.
It makes this attack really interesting because there's actually a lot of options for the Leech Bonder. Because normally, oh well, maybe we won't be blocking anyways.
Yeah, this kind of renders renders things null and void.
Yeah. Mist Dancer are going to give everything flying.
Yeah, unless Joey has some sort of a bolt here.
Which I believe the only thing he could have that's red is Wizard's Lightning, but he does not have that, and that is more than 10 damage. Yeah. So
I think that was another instance of it being exactly what I needed.
Calculated is what we'll say. It's not lucky.
All a part of the plan.
Okay.
Got a Shelldock Isle here. Couldn't quite see what he put under it. But maybe, just maybe, that will be revealed at some point.
Could be.
That is a Boreal Shelf, which is the original blue-white snowland.
Yeah, the untyped snow duels. Which rarely a distinction that matters in this cube, but sometimes is, so.
Slower start from both of us in this game.
Legacies Allure.
There's the Legacies Allure. And the moment it comes down, I'm just like, oh, this is what this game's going to be about now.
You're now playing a game within a game, so. Although you do have Broker's Charm, a way to potentially deal with it if we can find it. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else.
The Cutthroat is a great play into the Legacies Allure. Generally just being a creature that can grow. Legacies Allure is power, yeah?
Yes.
It is, yeah. That
Okay. I couldn't remember. I had a slight moment of thinking like it was mana value or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely
but
power.
but yeah, Cutthroat being a creature that can just grow incidentally, potentially, is a good thing to play into a Legacy Ziller that is fresh, but um, it is a tricky card to play around.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the Broker's Charm. I guess there's Sig technically is kind of an answer to it, but
Yeah. So I revealed a Vine Shaper Mystic off of the Silvergill Adept, which will um, give me the ability to pump my creatures. So I'm kind of thinking like, okay, maybe I can just like outpace this Legacy's Allure before it really matters. We'll see how that goes for me.
well, just Jorian, so at least for this turn, feels like the door is mostly open for the play you just talked about. We have the foil. I guess he could have like Thwart, but
Yeah, so that is what I go for. And just trying to go aggro, make the Legacy's Allure not matter.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a very valid line here. I mean, he's down to 10 already. You have 2 3-power creatures, one of which can keep growing.
We do have the Room again, which will take down one of my creatures.
Yeah, smartly takes down the one that can grow more.
And we get a trigger off of the Jory.
So yeah, not willing to attack. Which
Yeah, the Vine Shaper Mystic's a 1/3.
mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say a little bit interesting. He's not willing to attack because we know he's not blocking, but I forget that the Vine
yeah,
Shaper is a 1/3, not a 1/2. So,
Bloodline Pretender here.
do you remember what you named with Bloodline Pretender?
Oh gosh.
Has this joke run its course yet? I don't know. I don't know how long it's.
Cats.
You did play a pirate this game actually, so and a shaman, so
Yeah. I am 100% hoping that Joey uses the Legacy's Allure on this Bloodline Pretender.
what if
Instead, he has another Mind Control.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a creature with 2 kicker costs. And when it comes into play, you gain control of a creature with
It has to be less than yeah.
its power, yeah.
So that's what we're discussing right now.
Yeah, which means that he can't currently take the Bloodline Pretender, but he could pay for the kicker, I believe. It's 1 red or 1 green. You can pay either or both, and
yeah, chooses to just take the Vine Shaper Mystic instead.
oh, he doesn't have another untapped land. I thought he did. My fault. There's that Wizard's Lightning.
Well, the other benefit of this is that it's going to give him another Jorian trigger.
Right.
So now I kind of feel like he's firing on all cylinders, and I'm definitely falling behind.
Yeah, but you know, we talked during the draft about Lords a little bit, and without any of those, he has gone a bit wide, but you are at 17. And it really only takes like a big creature here to make combat really tough for him. Although I guess Legacy's Allure
Yeah,
again throws
if
that
only
out the
there was
window,
not that.
so
Yeah, if only
yeah.
there was not that Legacy's Allure sitting there at the bottom of the screen,
right, menacingly.
mocking me.
So yeah, just blocking with your own creature.
So I pass here.
Surely this means we have an instant speed spell. Which is probably good because it looks like Joey's spending 1,000,000 mana on something. Yeah, so that's the Titan, which is going to draw him 4 cards if he gets to play. Okay, so Rejected Perfection.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot abide that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I also misspoke earlier. It's 3 or less, not 3 or more for Rejected Perfection. So no proliferating
So I will not.
here.
I will not get the proliferate here. Yeah.
But he doesn't get a Titan of Ligiara, so a good deal. Still a slight bind though with the Legacy's Allure.
Yeah. So notably at this point, I am starting to stumble on my lands a little bit, and I know that at one point in this game I have a missed answer in hand. I'm fairly certain I already have it in hand. So I don't have the mana to cast it, and I know that once I do, it's a prime Legacy's Allure target. So
Okay, so Aquatic Incursion not bad. Gives you they're only 1/1s, but they have hexproof, so they can't be Legacy's Lord. Not sure he would want to Legacy's Allure them anyways. But
right.
I mean, if you have the Mist Dancer in hand, these tokens are are going to get a lot of mileage on them.
There's another rather expensive card in my hand that I have been trying to build to as well.
I missed which one it was. Must be the Obelisk, I guess. Okay, the champion.
So I'm going for a Deeproot Champion here.
Just presenting, a target for Legacy's Allure.
Yeah. I am also thinking about that activated ability on the Incursion. So Joey's at a low enough life total that maybe, just maybe, I can get in an unblockable hit here and there.
Right. Yeah, and that's 4 mana to make a Merfolk unblockable this turn. Ooh, Tidebinder on the Harbinger is a little bit rough, but again, his creatures aren't currently big per se. They just, there's a lot of them. I guess they are bigger than yours for the most part, unfortunately.
I want to say that Joey was pretty close to me in the draft based on some of the cards he has, like the Tishana's Tidebinder, the Legacy's Allure.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that assessment. So unlock the other half of the furnace here, which I believe removes your max hand size, and you get to draw an extra card at the end of your turn.
More cards.
Yeah, so just choosing to have to imagine that this Sheldock Isle is active or closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if he has 5 cards in his hand, it's active.
Thinking about what I want to do here.
If you have Mist Dancer, it's hard to imagine that this game isn't just over, but I'm gonna Legacy's Allure.
So, yeah, so I do have Obelisk of Erd in hand and play it. So now I'm making an attack for 6.
I like this attack. He can kill both of these, but it's pretty bad for him board-wise to do that. But maybe he doesn't care. And I guess he gets to keep Jory in.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. He's at, he wants to preserve his life total. He's probably thinking about the fact that I've got that Aquatic Incursion.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know that he has a choice, really.
Yeah.
But I think you're probably fine with it. The Legacy's Allure is gone. You've cleared out a lot of his board.
I was thinking afterwards about whether that attack was great on my part, because it's possible that I have a better shot if I hold off.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to say because I'm still constrained on mana.
So here's Threads to take the champion. And there is finally a Lord, yeah.
Yeah, Joey just keeps stealing my stuff.
Yeah, it's very rude. You think he could have drafted his own cards to play with. Instead, he just drafted all these cards that take other people's cards. Draft your own deck, Joey.
So which Lord is this?
That's the Merfolk Sovereign, which +1/+1 to all other Merfolk, and can also tap to make a Merfolk unblockable. Not super relevant right now, but
Certainly could be.
certainly could be, yeah. Yeah, and all that stuff that I was saying about how he had no lords, so his team was not very menacing. Kind of goes out the window even with just the one. Sheree helps.
Sheree here.
Yeah, it's tough because that thing should not be untapped. There we go. You'd probably much rather stun either of the other two cards in play, but you really probably want to draw a card.
I really cared about that in that instance. Possible that I should have tapped on one of the other things.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, I don't know what's in your hand or whatever, but it just kind of stinks to have to make the choice between like a better stun, quote unquote better stun, or getting your extra card. But this Sheree is also giant, so you can block pretty well here. This makes it a little more difficult, but I believe you're still bigger than the Joriel. Sheree's a 3/3, I think, right? 2/3. So Sheree can't.
Sheree is it's a 2/3 base, which means it's a 4/5 right now.
4/5 right now. So it can't kill the Jorian, but it could. They could bounce off each other if you wanted them to, or it can presumably kill this champion.
Yes, interesting attack here. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay.
So there's the Hex Catcher.
Yeah, so another Lord.
Another Lord from underneath the Sheldock Isle. So all that smack talk I did about not having Lords, and here we are now, 2 turns later with 3 Lords in play.
Even though this match took place in the past, I can't help but blame you a little bit for this.
Listen, I told Joey on the day, and I'll say it again now, this was one of the worst Sheldock Isles I've ever seen. That card already has Flash and cost 2. So he didn't actually gain anything by putting it under Sheldock Isle.
That's actually so funny.
Yeah, hard to imagine a way out of this one, especially considering that the only way I can imagine would be non-creature spells, and he now has basically an army of Curse Catchers, so...
Right, yeah, so I decided to pack it in.
Yeah.
Game 3.
Yeah, game 3 here. Like I said, we did have 8, so this is a bracket, so both 1-0, so playing for a shot at the crown for this draft. Seaside Citadel versus a Flooded Strand. There's that Sink into Stupor that hasn't been flipped back, so easily just played as a land again. Sometimes it's just more efficient, you know?
Joey fetches for a Surveil land, puts the Curse Catcher in the bin.
Which is kind of surprising, but maybe he's got an instant to cast here, I guess. Or he's just really constricted on lands again.
Possible.
There's the
So
Sage
here
of
is
Fables.
Yes. So this allows my, I believe this allows my wizards to enter with another +1/+1 counter.
Yeah. And yeah,
Does it have another piece of text?
Yeah, you can pay 2 or 3 and remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control to draw a card. It's 2, yeah. Yeah, we talked about before how you weren't necessarily building a wizards deck, but you ended up with a lot of wizards, so.
It's apparently the preferred trade among Merfolk.
Yeah, it seems so. There's a little bit of everything, but yeah, wizards is certainly the predominant.
Joey thinking about... yes, so he lets the charade resolve, but in response to the
Okay.
tap ability, in response to the tap ability, he is casting Flame of the North.
Right.
And that's going to keep me from drawing a card.
Right. So his guy still will be stunned. He gets to kill your guy, draw 2 cards. You get to attack for 3. Winners all around, if you ask me.
Yeah. Hexcatcher is... it can be an annoying card to play against.
Yeah, I mean, it being a Flash Lord is one of the better combat tricks in the cube, probably. On top of the... You know, you don't even have to let its ability sit in play face up like you do with a lot of other things. Like Curse Catcher just sits in play, but being able to drop it in, pump your team, and also turn them into little mini dazes is very nice.
Very much so.
Yeah, so there's the Vine Shaper.
Yeah. Joey puts a counter on it, thinking that it enters with a counter, but it does not.
Yeah, not a wizard. Rare Shaman. And I guess he's Tidebindering the enters ability on it, which is exceptionally rude.
So Joey has, not necessarily a strict answer, but, sort of an answer to everything I'm doing at this point.
Right. He also has Tidebinder and Riptide Lab, which is a pretty potent combination of cards.
That is quite, yeah, that is quite the combo. Astrologian's Planisphere. Joey playing with even more vintage cube cards.
Yeah, true. Yeah, obviously not a Merfolk, but is a wizard, so makes the cut. Tidebinder gets to attack for 4. Not sure why he was pointing at Sage of Fables, but he was probably being disparaging.
I also point at Sage of Fables.
Thinking about something. 4-drop could be Kidnapped. We've already played Charade. Yeah, I forgot about this guy, but
yes, the Merfolk Retracer.
Guy. Betrayed by your own wizard too. Although I mean you couldn't pay for it regardless, but Ixidor's Will, one of the older cards that doesn't template with you control. It's just for each wizard in play. So
yeah, that perhaps might have been why he pointed at the Sage.
yeah, like I said, didn't actually matter because he has 3 wizards already. So, but shocking here for Sovereign. Maybe just trying to keep Riptide Lab up as well.
That's what I'm thinking here.
So this is for 5, 6, 7, I believe.
Yes. And I go to make this trade. At this point, I'm a little bit, probably I should not have made that trade, but
I don't know why I caught that. It was a 3-3, but
yeah, because it's not getting pumped by any of the lords, right?
right. I mean, I for some reason I thought Sage of Fables was a 3-3, which he would kind of be an absurdly statted creature if he was a 3-3, but
Goes to attach the Planisphere to the Sovereign.
yeah. So he doesn't actually care about Riptide Lab this turn. Although it is worth noting that he can now save his Merfolk Sovereign with his Riptide Lab.
Oh, yeah.
I think my job when I watch this cube is just to point out all the stupid little interactions that nobody will ever do, because I'm the only person who knows what half of these cards do.
That just means we need to draft it more so we all get that level of
Yeah.
intimate knowledge. I got to tell you, I was not present at this draft day. I was actually literally on a beach when you all were playing. And I felt really good about that choice, but I am missing having not been a part of this draft in the moment now that I'm watching it.
Yeah. So Kidnap there, but he's just going to sacrifice it with the Hex Catcher to
See me grabbing a quick
keep me
drink.
from getting it, yeah. All these islands are making you thirsty, you know?
Not feeling great about my chances at this point.
Yeah, it's not a great spot. I mean,
Bit behind on the board, you know?
you do get to make a block here. I mean, it really only takes one good creature to kind of turn it around, but I'm not sure that any of the creatures you have with Shiragon are enough right now.
Yeah, so I mean, Hawkball would obviously be like quite good here.
Well, we've got Tidebinder up, right? So
That's correct. Yeah, I just remembered that. The fact that Joey has Riptide plus Tidebinder up is also a problem.
Which we'll see if
And
he cares.
in fact, yeah, we're going to see that here. I want to say that in this moment, like I didn't realize until he did it that he had that option.
Right. Yeah, again, Riptide Lab, older card.
I've recently had an occasion to go look at old extended deck lists, and when I got to the Riptide Lab Spell Stutter Sprite decks, it did things, man. I miss those decks.
Yeah, so that was just the Gem Palm Sorcerer getting cycled, which gave all his wizards flying, which was all of his creatures, and
Yeah, a blink and you miss it finish.
yeah.
Joey's deck also looking quite strong there.
Yeah, we can take a quick look at his entire deck before we move on to the finals. Again, couldn't be here with us because he had other plans on our not normally scheduled recording day. Very rude of him. But yeah, we saw a lot of this already. Really, actually, not even sure if there's anything here that we haven't seen yet. Cyclone Summoner and Hulking Metamorph. Actually, that whole middle section, Torrent Sculptor.
Amaro Reechery as well, which is quite a good card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this looks great. You've got like a nice curve with the early drop creatures that, Docker Mystic, and maybe the I forget the name of the land type changer.
Tideshaper Mystic.
Tideshaper Mystic. They're like maybe not the best on their own, but they've got synergies with the deck, and they're also just good early plays, like getting on the board early.
And really, really fantastic mana on top. I mean, look how many blue-red duels he has. It's Yeah, this
That's
deck looks
true.
like
Yeah. I wonder if he was the only person drafting this combination.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems like. I mean, he has basically all of the blue-red duels, so he's missing like the fetch land and the. Oh no, he has the MDFC. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
Wow, I didn't even notice that one down there.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of seems
Yeah.
like he cleaned up across the board on those. So I think actually, I think maybe there's a second Shivan Reef that he missed out on. So, yep.
Oh, unlucky, really.
He missed out on a Shivan Reef and a second Volatile Fjord, and I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so he has 9, and there's 13 blue-red lands. So there's a couple of those that he missed, but
Does he have a way to double kick the Vodalian Mindsinger?
Vivid
No, the
Creek.
Vivid Creek. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just the creek.
Just one though.
Which, yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, I mean, like I said earlier, with
Oh, he's got Tide Shaper Mystic as well.
oh sure,
Or is
sure.
that
yeah.
only?
Another combo with that card.
No, it's any type.
Yeah.
But again, like you kick that thing once, and it has what 5? Is it 4 or 5 power after that?
Yeah, it's certainly still good if you can
It's
only
4,
kick it
so
once.
yeah. If you kick it once to 4, I mean, there's very few creatures in this cube that you're not going to be able to take with 4 power. But you know, with lords or whatever, could definitely be. But
Yeah.
Well,
So overall, a very solid deck.
yeah, let's see how he does in the finals. All right, round 3, Joey playing against Matt. Matt, who has yet to lose a match in this cube, by the way. So not only is this for Joey's potential 3-0, but it's for killing the streak.
See a Curse Catcher on turn 1.
This is also a fun matchup because Matt is our current cube champion.
Yeah.
And Joey is the previous one.
Yep. Yeah, so Merfolk Mist Walker, missed something.
Yes. The important thing to know is that it gives all your creatures
Yeah,
your
it's a
Merfolk
lord.
+1/+1.
Mist Binder.
Mist Binder. It binds the mist.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So yeah, Joey out the gates here with his normal Curse Catcher start, has the Legacies of Lore again, so now Matt gets to be the one playing the self-mind games. It's great too because as the Legacies of Lore player, you just have to like take your die up every turn. But
I feel like so far Joey has shown pretty good restraint with this Legacies Allure, just like in general. Like I feel like he's playing pretty well with it.
it's really interesting to me because I took Standstill out of this cube despite it being like a staple of Merfolk decks for a long time. Here's the Lord again, although with the Shivan Reef and the Riptide Lab has to take some pain to do it. But I feel like Legacies of Lore and Standstill have like similar effects on games. I won't say they're exactly the same, but they just create this like game within a game that you have to play.
All right, so here we've got...
That's the Singer of Swift Rivers. So when it comes into play, it puts a shield counter on a creature. That's what the die on the Mistbinder is representing. It has flash, and it gives all of your Merfolk flash. So
Very cool card.
yeah, very cool card. Makes it a lot easier for Matt to play the game and a lot harder for Joey to play the game, even with this Legacies of Lore, because Matt basically has to do nothing on his own turn now except for turn his creature sideways.
Right.
Although Legacies of the Lord can potentially take it next turn. It is a 3-power creature, so...
Shield counters only go away when it would be destroyed, right? So it doesn't affect the Legacy Lore ability.
Dealt damage or destroyed. But yes,
Okay.
It does not stop Legacies of Lore.
It's a little tempting to just pick up the second Lord, you know? Oh, he's going to do that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's the threads. That Mistbinder's not very loyal.
Now Joey has 2 Lords, so his clock's going to increase pretty quickly here.
2 Lords and a Legacies of Lord.
Oh, that was a stretch.
But, it's kind of hard to attack here because you know, Matt's creatures all have flash. It's pretty unlikely he could put a 3/3 into play, but here's the Drowner. And I believe that's the other land type changer.
Yeah, Tidal Warrior, I believe.
Yeah. That one only makes things an island, though. I kind of wonder if there was any consideration from Joey to take the Flood Pitch Drowner still at the end of Matt's turn, so there's no way to shuffle this Sovereign back in, but maybe he just doesn't care. Here's Brackish Blunder, which is going to return the Mistbinder to Matt's hand, and because it was tapped, it's going to make him a map token, so...
Oh, that's quite good.
Pretty good spot to be in, although... Oh yeah, he can cast it again, so...
Oh, does he not have a green source?
He does.
No, he does.
The Clue land is the green source, so... just trading off with the Curse Catcher there. Joey unwilling to take the attack because presumably Matt would just play the Lord again, right? And make it 3 damage, put him down to 6.
There's a little weirdness there because the Legacy's Allure could take it before blocks, and you know,
Sure.
I understand Matt just sort of sitting back and keeping his options open.
Yeah. So here's yet another card with Tide in its name, the Tide Shaper, which Matt kicked it, so that Steam Vince is now only an island. But Joey now has 2 Lords, and this Legacy's Allure, which can take any of the creatures in play.
Is there something about the text of that card that makes it unable to work on the Riptide Laboratory? Or does Matt just not care about that card?
What do you mean?
I assume that
the Tide Shaper.
Turn just any non-basic into a basic land, a basic island.
Yeah, it's just target land, so you know maybe should have gone with the.
I mean, he may be in the position where if Joey is messing around with Riptide Laboratory, he does not care. You know, he's clocking him too fast for that to matter much.
I kind of wish Joey was here because I kind of want to ask him about this turn specifically. So Matt attacked with the Singer. Joey blocked with his Hulking Metamorph, which is a 4/4 essentially. And I'm kind of curious if there was any consideration to Legacy's Allure, the Singer, although I'm not sure how Legacy's Allure would work if he played the Lord. I'm not sure if that counters the effect or not.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Joey also didn't know. Maybe he missed it. I don't know, but because he could have, if he could take the Singer, it negates the combat. He keeps both of his Lords, or well, he keeps his clone Lord. He can play his other Lord again next turn.
So it looks like we had an upkeep activation of that that land changer.
Yeah, maybe the real answer is just that he doesn't currently have any wizards for Riptide Lab, so he doesn't care. Even last turn, the Sovereign isn't a wizard, it's just a Merfolk, so... Just doesn't want to give him another source of colored mana, potentially, for extra spells.
Got a Sovereign here.
But yeah, again, that like really awkward spot where Matt just like can't afford to play his Lord because of Legacy's Allure. Although it feels like Joey might have to cash it in kind of soon. Looks like we might be doing something here before attackers.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, just going to take the Harbinger, which kind of seems like Bat can't attack because that's a 3/3. I mean, I guess if he has another combat trick, but at best you're trading with your own creature, so maybe that's not what you want. But yeah, can just play the Lord now because the Allure is gone.
I think that was a pretty good spot for the Legacy's Allure activation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't really afford to just take the damage there at 9, I think.
I made that comment earlier about how he was showing good restraint, but there is like a certain point where it's like, okay, there's diminishing returns from just sitting on this forever.
Can't sacrifice it if you're dead. That's my wisdom for the day. Probably the only wise thing I've said all day. The furnace. Getting aggressive here.
All
right, so yeah, Matt has the Trickster, but Joey has the Tidebinder. So it looks like Matt has the one of the other rooms in his hand that can make a copy of a creature. Yeah, mirror room.
So copying his Trickster.
Yeah. Just gonna tap the Tidebinder and make a awkward block here, I guess. Joey's just gonna go to 5. Matt empty-handed though, so really only takes a creature here to kind of stabilize the board completely, and we're back to having that Riptide Lab to Shauna's Tidebinder combo that we talked about earlier as well.
Is there any relevance to the other room of Matt's room card? I'm not quite sure what it does.
The other half costs 7, and it makes triggered abilities happen twice.
Okay, so not something really that we're,
but Cod came into play. Here comes the Mindsinger. Because of the Lords can take the Trickster.
Big swing here.
And now we're big attacking, yeah. So it looks like it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, down to 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great back and forth game.
Yeah. This was me. I was watching this game, and this attack happened, and then Joey wrote down his life total as if the Merfolk Sovereign wasn't attacking. And it took a minute to get him to understand what I was saying. But
Matt didn't find any help off the top, so we're on to game 2 here.
On to game 2.
At the, I think it's called Triton Wavebreaker, which has prowess.
Yeah, that's just a little prowess goober. It has bestow, but as a creature it has prowess, so. Tide Shaper going to knock out the Shelldock Isle.
Nice. Not that it's going to be relevant anytime soon, but...
Yeah. And, you know, we've seen Joey's deck. It seems like if he wants to get rid of that Tide Shaper, he'll be able to at some point, so. But we're playing the Legacies of Lore game again.
Yeah, but with a draw from Matt, that may be too fast.
Yeah.
What a curve out.
Yeah, what a curve out indeed. And
I wondered if Matt had that Lord of Atlantis, because I think that top deck last game would have actually stolen the win.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jorian, but again, doesn't matter because of the Lord.
The Lord.
They were just realizing that, yeah, Sentinel is a follow-up to the Rich Get Richer. A little surprised we didn't explore there, but maybe we have something.
Yeah.
Could be.
Matt does play pretty quick, but he is also pretty good at, you know, staying on top of all the things he should be doing in a turn. So my guess would be that he has something.
Going ahead and taking the Lord now.
Yeah, so the flaw in this plan, and something that we talked about at length later is that is Lord of Atlantis, not Master of the Pearl Trident.
Yeah. Do you want to explain for the viewers at home why that's relevant?
Yeah, so I talked about the Ixodor's Will earlier. Lord of Atlantis is templated the same way, where it says all merfolk get +1/+1 an island walk, not merfolk you control. So Lord of Atlantis being in play has the same effect basically at this point, whether it's Joey's or Matt's, that Joey just can't block Matt's creatures here.
Matt possibly just pointing that out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so Joey lamenting a bit the way he played that turn.
It is a really weird, having the benefit of all these years of hindsight, it's a very strange like templating thing that they did it that way back in the day.
Yeah, and I mean all of the lords used to work that way. It wasn't a weird thing back then, but yeah, I mean with the modern stuff, it is something that sometimes gets forgotten. So, not sure if it changed the outcome of that game or not, but definitely feels like taking out the lord would have at least given us a few more turns there, but as is, it doesn't. So we get a game 3. He's just giving us content. It's for the people.
I'm excited.
Tideshaper again, knocking out a blue-red land. Again, not that we've seen it be super relevant at any point, but
Yeah, does Joey have double red spells? I seem to remember most of them being just a single red, if not all.
Yeah, it looks like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 red cards, and they're all just a single red. So
just further cementing like quite 5. How great his mana base is.
Right. Yeah, and again, it's not uncommon to end up with a ton of non-basics in this cube because, again, you have to draft all of your lands, but it certainly makes things easier. There's Shapers of Nature.
Shapers of Nature. So that has a couple of activated abilities on it.
Yeah, it can put counters on things, and it can do something else with counters that I can't remember right now. Oh, it can do similar to the Sage of Fables. It's 3 and a green to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It's 2 and a blue to remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control and draw a card. So, surveilling away the Tidebinder.
Interesting.
Playing a Mouth of Ronan that we played and then picked up last turn.
Taking Threads of Disloyalty.
Yeah, can't Threads the Shapers of Nature, unfortunately, so maybe was waiting to see if he could get a little better value out of it, but Brackish Blunder makes it so it doesn't super matter.
Man, that card has been quite good in these games.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Well, that's what Joey gets for taking other people's cards, you know?
It is interesting, like, I'm just now realizing in real time that the prevalence of mind control spells make the bounce spells that much better.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a double-edged utility card there.
Merfolk in the hand is worth 2 in the something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ixodor's Will again showing some effectiveness, but Assimilation Aegis is going to just take out the token. Tideshaper's back, and the Shapers of Nature. So yeah, that Assimilation Aegis basically doesn't have text for the rest of the game, but in fairness, if it's up to Matt, that probably won't be for too much longer, I imagine, so a fine trade-off to make. Interesting to note that even though Matt didn't kick the Tideshaper coming back down, it is a 2/2 anyways because of the island that Joey has. So here's Torrent Sculptor. So when it enters, you can exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, put counters on it equal to its mana cost. So big creature. Currently a 5/5 with Ward 2. But unluckily, Matt has this card that costs 1 that returns a creature to its owner's hand. And I don't believe he has anything else to Torrent Sculpt in his graveyard.
I remember Joey saying afterwards that that was one of the maybe more marginal cards or disappointing cards in his
Yeah.
deck, which I can kind of understand.
Right. Just going to get countered. And here's a new addition in the Ouroboros. Ouroboros? I think that's right.
Oh, that card's a certified bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, so puts +1/+1 counters on all your creatures equal to its power. So this turn it's 1, next turn it'll be 2. And if that's not something that we can get off the table, it kind of feels like... I mean, we can kill it with Mouth of Rotom, I guess, but not interested.
No. Joey scoops him up.
Yes, Joey scoops him up. Matt Street continues.
Matt, absolutely dominant in this cube.
Yeah.
This man must be stopped.
Yeah, I do think Joey played that third game a little bit on tilt after how the second game ended. But, you know, very
It
powerful
happens to the
deck.
best of us.
Yeah, to take nothing away from what Matt's deck did there, because, yeah, another banger.
Yeah, I'd say that was an impressive showing from both of them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So congratulations to Matt for taking down yet another Merfolk Cube draft. While his reign is currently long, surely someone will take him down eventually. As I mentioned before the draft, this is a cube that I created and maintained with the help of others in the league. So any thoughts or suggestions are welcome. Though as this cube has been accepted into CubeCon later this year, there won't be any significant changes made between this video and that event in October. If you are attending CubeCon, keep an eye out and let us know if you are able to get a draft in at the event. That's all for today. So from myself, Scott, Spurlock, and the rest of the league, thank you so much for watching. We hope you had a great time, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get a jump on future videos.